Oh, you're good. Okay, so we're just gonna start numbering these out. This is gonna be weekly build number 3. I did a YouTube short on it, but I didn't follow up, so my bad on that one. This is weekly build. We're gonna put it as number 3. It is gonna be a forest full grain. So you guys, let's do the quick walkthrough on the specs and what we did with this boot. And it is a size 9, by the way. So if you're a size 9, I mean, this is gonna be for you. And it's gonna be up on the website as soon as you guys see this video. So if you guys wanna snag that up, it's gonna be right there. The first 2 that we actually put up on the website actually sold already. So cheers to the guys who picked those up, and thank you for giving us a shot as your next work boot. And honestly, I'm just, I'm excited to keep doing this because it just gives us the best idea possible. It gives us the best idea of what we have to offer and what the options are, how you can customize your boots. I mean, there's a lot of options. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna try to make as many type of weekly builds as possible to keep you guys kind of updated, keep showing you different options, and to be hooking you guys up pretty much. I mean, there's no cooler way of saying that. I just want to be able to, give you guys a damn good pair of boots without having to break the bank. And as you know, these are $240 retail. They're $240 retail. And anytime you guys want to throw in a Vibram upgrade like this Vibram Newporter, one thing that you're going to have to, see that the process is the standard process is that it's $240 base. And then if you want to if you want to upgrade your boots, it's going to be another $100, but that comes with a warranty. So they're meant to be put to use in work environments. They're meant to be tested, here and there, wherever you go. So definitely, whenever you pick up a pair of 724s, you guys have to put them to use. Use them as much as you can, because we're going to honor our quality. We're going to honor our components. We're going to honor everything that we do. So keep that in mind. Use your boots as much as possible. They're comfortable as hell. I'm being a little biased, but I wear them every single day. So that's just, one thing that I want to run by you guys. But if you guys pick these up as the weekly build deal, so these are going to be $270 all in. So $270 gets you a fully built out pair of work boots or casual boots. I mean, it's your call. The Forest really has both ways of approaching. So check that out. That's just, one way you can look at it, but definitely, keep that in mind. $270, they are first come, first serve. So you always have to kind of jump on it if you guys want to pick these up. But let's go over the spec sheet real quick. And for those of you guys who actually haven't, heard too much about us, or just to give you guys a quick update, the way that this works is, like I previously mentioned, we have base models, and then these base models, they come with a stock wedge outsole. Obviously right here we have a customized outsole, and it's featuring a Vibram Newporter full sole. So you see that? And one thing that I really like about this sole is that it's the flushest sole that you're going to be able to get. So what I mean by that is that once this is applied to your wedge outsole, you can hardly tell. You can really realistically hardly tell that it's there. It's the cleanest finish that we have available currently. So, if for those of you guys that don't want nothing too over the top or too like bulbous or anything like that, this is the outsole that I recommend. I think it's a phenomenal option because and you know what, let me make sure actually really fast. Let's check out the compound for you guys real quick. Yeah, so the thing is with the Newporter, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's I want to give you guys the correct compound on it. And where's it at? Let's see. Okay, so it's the 1330 Newporter. I'm gonna read this off the book. So this is their book. There's a Vibram repair catalog. So all of our outsoles are actually sourced from Vibram, and anything that we upgrade our boots with is Vibram. So just keep that in mind. Most of our options, except for one, which is the day-night package, is from Vibram. So let me read this out to you guys. The 1330 Newporter provides outstanding slip-resistant characteristics recommended for the food service industry. Now, keep that in mind, you know, in those food service industries, there's a lot of grease on the floor, so this is meant to be focusing on slip resistance. And I can attest to that because I've had this sole on another pair of boots of mine, and they really don't even wear at all, hardly wear. And the way that they feel on foot is very, very securing. I mean, you don't feel like, you know, anything's gonna happen to you because you got outstanding grip. And the rest of this says that the compound is a TC4 compound. I don't know what it is, but I mean the grip, the whole thing behind that outsole is the grip, the slip resistance against oil. Because like I said, in those kitchens, very oily, very greasy, but I mean, you know, you can use that in other scenarios as well, you know, so keep that in mind. And it has the cleanest profile, you know, you're hardly gonna notice that sole's there. So that's it. That's a 1330 Newporter. And then this essentially turns into a dual density outsole because, check that out. Obviously, it's one compound. That's two compounds, which is our polyurethane wedge stock sole, right? So that turns it into a dual density. There's a lot of people who brag about dual density, but I mean, I've seen a few videos. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're from Rose Anvil, and you know, they expose how a lot of these companies are saying, oh, dual density, and literally the only thing that they do to actually make it be dual density in their perspective is that they change the color of the foam that they're using, or the polyurethane that they're using, or the compound that they're using in the outsole, but the material is exactly the same. Now, this is what I would genuinely call it dual density, because it's two different compounds, serves two different purposes, and that's two. If I'm counting right, that's two, right? Dual density. Now, right above that, you have your full length veg tan midsoles. So I'm going to bring this up a little bit closer for you guys. Yeah, so it's full length, the whole thing. Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, it's about 3 or 5 millimeters in thickness. That's for that midsole, that veg tan midsole, right? So full length. And then you have your 360 Goodyear welt, and that actually is a veg tan leather as well. So, you know, like I'm saying, like everything, all the components that we're putting in here, they're all premium. I mean, we're not cutting any corners. There is no like BS going on or anything like that. This is just straight up premium components on every single thing that we can apply them to, right? Now, one thing that you're not going to see, which is actually on the inside, is going to be that we use leather cork filler, and that's so that gap that's between the 360 Goodyear welt, that spacing, that's filled up with leather cork filler. Now, the only way you guys are ever really going to see that is if I cut the boot apart, which I have before in another video, but I have since then taken that video down. But soon enough, I'll cut one open for you guys, and you guys will be able to get the idea. But it's there. You're not going to be able to see it, but it's there. All right. And then we do have these chrome tan leather laces all the way. Yeah. So that's an 8-inch boot, by the way, in case I didn't specify that. And one thing that I've been getting a lot is that what is our width? What width do we run on these boots? And the thing is, we only run an EE width. We don't have any D widths at the moment. And I'm only going to say that we don't do D widths at the moment because a majority of our clientele sits at an EE width. Now, that does not mean that these boots are not going to fit you if you're a D width. I have always used a D width for everything. Every other shoe that I've used in my life, whether it be a sneaker or any other type of boot, I've always been a D. But I tried on an EE. I'm a 9.5, and all it does, for me, is that it gives me just a little bit more wiggle room. It lets my toes move around. It gets me a little bit more space. But that doesn't mean that this is a loose fitting boot. If you're an EE, it's gonna fit you just right. If you're a D, you're gonna be right in there, like snugged, and it's not gonna feel like, oh, it's like too loose or anything. And trust me, like it's from personal experience. I'm not, trying to tell you that, this is a universal fit, but from personal experience, based off my experience, that's the way that, I can best explain it to you. So don't be afraid if you've always been a D that, maybe our boots aren't gonna fit you. Just trust me when I say that they can definitely fit you. There's like no reason to be scared of an EE, because all it does, if you're a D, is that it gives you a tad bit more wiggle room. And I'm talking about millimeters of a difference. It's nothing crazy. So if you guys need help with that, give me a ring. You can always call, text us, email us to get your sizing locked in, and then in case anything, we offer free exchanges, so not to worry on that. And we're gonna get you the right size no matter what. But all right, so the next thing that we're gonna talk about is that this is a 3mm leather upper. Now this is a chrome tanned leather, and it's an aniline finish. I'm gonna try to bring the boot a little bit closer so you guys can have a better idea of what aniline actually is. Let's see. All right. Okay. Only because my screen is like super tiny, but what I can tell you from the aniline is that it doesn't cover any blemishes. It doesn't cover any natural scarring. It doesn't really hide any of the imperfections that the animal, well, in this case, the steer or the cow, had during its its life. So you're gonna see the veins, you're gonna see the scars, you're gonna see slight imperfections. So our boots are not polished. These are not ultra refined, polished, and they have to look perfect from every little corner, every little line. No, these are hand built boots using premium components. Nothing is polished up to look ideally perfect. So not one single pair of these boots that I have for you guys is gonna look ideally the same. I know even the ones I have on the website as the photos, they each have their own characteristics, so if you're lucky enough, you'll be able to get some. They have some cool characteristics. You could kind of see it right there. You see those lines that are going down right there? That's part of what I mean on the aniline finish. That's what I'm trying to get at. So this is the type of leather that it is. And when I said 3mm for the upper, I'm actually considering the lining as well. One thing to keep in mind is that on paper, our upper sits at 2.6mm, and our lining sits at about between 0.6 to 0.8, so almost an entire millimeter. But when you combine both, I'm just averaging out what you can expect at a minimum. It's going to be 3mm for the upper, and it's a full glove. It's a full glove, meaning that every single part where your foot is going to be sitting inside the boot is leather lined. And this isn't like a special premier lining or anything like that, but it's a veg tan lining. That's what I can tell you. It's a veg natural lining, tumbled, so it's very soft on feel. It's not rough at all. Some people prefer it to be just like unlined, like just the reverse of the hide, but everybody has really enjoyed this so far. And if you happen to pick up a pair and you don't really like the lining, I'd like to hear why. I mean, honestly, this is we've gone through several linings in our cycles, but this is the best one that we had so far, and super comfy, super breathable. And yes, even though the boot is enclosed because your foot is actually entirely wrapped in leather, it does have more breathability than being wrapped in a synthetic lining or waterproof lining or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so everything that can be premium, let me reiterate, is premium, right? One thing that we recently did while releasing the Bristow Boot is that we upgraded this pull tab in the back. So before, it used to be stitched all the way up, all the way to the top, and kind of tucked under the lip right here, but we actually pulled that back a little bit. It gives a little bit more flexibility, and it looks nicer. So yeah, I mean, so far everything has been looking great. All the upgrades we've done to this boot to make it the best work boot in the market, mock toe wise, because this is a mock toe. We've done it, and we continue to do it, and we're going to continue doing it. And you know, for everybody who's had a pair, or who's had the opportunity to purchase a pair, you know, I want to say thanks, because, you know, that gives us the opportunity to keep doing this. So cheers to you guys. And one other thing that I wanted to talk about was the insole. So the insole, actually, I think I have a few right here. Let me see. I'll just bring out the one that's in here. All right. Okay, so 724 cushioned insole. See that? Now bring it a tad bit closer. Yeah. Now the reason that we did this, you know, as a removable insole is because some people, you know, need certain type of inserts, you know, for, you know, special reasons. And to me, this one suits me just fine. But for example, my buddy John Bristow, he actually, you know, he told me that he does like these, but he prefers some specialized insoles that he's been wearing from a different brand. I don't know what brand it is. I just remember that he told me, you know, from a while back. And he says that he has these on standby, but he typically, you know, uses the ones that he's used to. So he just takes these out, puts these in. But hey, you know, these work just fine for me. I think they should work just fine for the majority of everybody and anybody. But in case you need something more particular, you can always take these out, right? And put your own in there. So it is leather lined with that same lining that I was just talking about. So there it is, 724. And then one thing that I'm very proud of, if I'm being honest with you guys, is that we have a veg tan lasting board. And if I'm not mistaken, that veg tan lasting board actually sits at about, I think, 5 or 6 millimeters in thickness. So it's a nice thick chunk of leather lasting board, and that goes from the back all the way to the front. I don't know if you guys will be able to see. No, it's too dark. But once you get your pair, you guys can actually see that, you know, very easily when you're putting on the boots, checking them out. And that's one thing that I'm super proud of, and that kind of gives us that up in the market that this is an all premium build. You know, I want to say that it's something that has taken us a while to get there, you know, but I'm proud of where we're at. And honestly, I think things are just going to start getting better. Oh, and then a little while ago, I actually, I posted a YouTube short, and I was talking about making one change to what's going to be the 6-inch boot. So this is an 8-inch. We are going to start making some 6-inch boots pretty soon. And one thing that I'm considering is that, for example, right now we have a 360 Goodyear welt, right? So we have that 360 Goodyear welt, but I kind of wanted to give it a little bit more, I mean, you could say durability, you could say badass lookingness if you want. I mean, I think that's kind of like what I would say. So let me see if I can line this up for you guys. So the idea would be that from around this spot, give or take, it would actually have dual as in 2 Goodyear welt stitch, not all the way to the back, kind of like, I would say like from right here, boom, all the way around to the same spot. So like right here, double Goodyear welt stitch. So that's not, I think they called it a 270 something construction. I don't know. I forgot what it was, but this wouldn't be that. This is just adding an extra kind of like protective barrier, you know, from the, you know, in case any scenario. Adding just another round of dual, I guess you could call it dual 360 Goodyear welt, but let me know your thoughts on that. That is something that I am considering, but in the meantime, you know, it's up on the website, size 9. If you're a size 9 and you want that pre-built, weekly built, $270, you just got to pay your shipping. This is all you guys. This is all you. Check that out. All right, you guys let me know. Let me know what you guys think about what I suggested on the welt. Let me know your thoughts on this outsole. What do you guys think on this build? And then that goes down as weekly build number 3. And I'm actually going to record 4 back-to-back. So you'll probably see me wearing the same clothes. Peace.